Welcome back to another travel edition of Berrien Birders.
Park City, Utah is highly recommended. It is amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, this was in the Wasatch Mountains, which is a part of the Rockies, which are in northeastern Utah. And I had a conference out there, and we did some hikes. This was at some elevation. I think this is at about 8,000 feet, which was it's been an issue for us in the past, but we'd been there for a few days. Here's green-tailed towhee amidst a little mixed flock we got into early on this hike up. But this was 8,000 feet of elevation, and then we just kept going up.
There were so many birds around us that I felt like we had put in some lure to get them, but they were just there, all of them talking and scolding.
Yeah, this isn't using a skull tape. This was us pitching a little bit and them being like, "What are these tourists doing here in my mountains? Get off my land, tourists!" Or something to that effect.
We were looking for maybe a screech hidden somewhere, but we didn't see one.
Yeah, we were. Screech owl or even kind of saw-whet, and here's a green-tailed towhee doing a full-on "get off my land" at that house run that's making the annoying sounds in the background. That I suspect the towhee may have had a nest in that tree, and then the wren, which wrens will pip eggs, that may have been perceived as a predator, or maybe it was just annoyed with the sounds that it was making. I don't know.
There's just quaking aspen trees everywhere. I had no idea that one of my favorite trees in Michigan apparently makes its home there. It was one of the most prevalent tree species.
Yeah, and along with kind of things in Michigan and things farther away, this is mountain chickadee, a close relative to black-capped chickadee. That we actually had some black-capped in that group as well, though they didn't end up making the final cut of the video. In that previous scene a few cuts ago, there was an Audubon's warbler, which is the western form of our myrtle, our yellow-rumped warbler. This is Blood's Lake. This is what we were hiking all the way up to. It's kind of a mini crater lake almost. I had kind of some reminder to kind of some what I've seen in the northern Rockies in Banff, but this was gorgeous.
Yeah, and as far as we could tell, it had nothing to do with blood.
It had nothing to do with blood. There may have been some random person stripping in the background of one of these cuts that Kristen came around the corner like, "Oh, hello." I'm just going to back away awkwardly. For better or for worse, I did not encounter that, and that individual will not reach this video like this redback Junco, one of the western subspecies of Junco, is showing off quite nicely for.
Mm-hmm.
You never quite know. I read a National Geographic article about some, it was titled "Flashing Nature," where women would go and then just flash the camera with a beautiful background in the background. But it was definitely National Geographic for the words. We weren't worried about any of the 8th grade National Geographic pictures that we're referring to here. But here's kind of some more views of kind of Blood's Lake. This is cute. It's something in the least chipmunk class. There's 3 different chipmunks that are possible there, and I can't quite figure out which one it is. It's something in the least based on kind of how skinny the snout is. It's a lot pointier snouted.
Watch when he sees us.
I mean, he doesn't see us. There's nothing to see here. All is fine. He eats. Oh, wait a second. Huh.
And then he saw us and just jumped out of there.
And seeds went flying, which I put in slow motion just because, I mean, why wouldn't you go all John Madden on a chipmunk kamikazing out of a bush pile? I've never... Go ahead.
They had a picture there that said, "Please don't feed the squirrels or they will ask for cell phones."
Yes.
They'll become dependent and want a cell phone.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he may do something else in a children's book. If you give a chipmunk a squirrel, he will start kidnapping tourists and hold them at ransom for the latest iPhone. That was a beautiful scree slope where there had been a rock slide somewhere along the way. This is hairy woodpecker. It's a lot blacker than our hairy woodpeckers are here in the east.
Yeah, it made me a little jealous. Looks like a zebra that melted.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that while this is clearly blacker than ours are, apparently these are kind of variation that's called clinal variation, which just means it's a slow, steady gradation, unlike that Junco, which has a bunch of different subspecies, which all are fairly easy to kind of separate with not that many intergrades. The woodpeckers are something that will just kind of gradually get darker as you go across the country. And we kept climbing because 8,000 feet wasn't tall enough, and we started getting above the tree line, and what says above the tree line like alpine wildflowers. That I believe was something called that Kristen looked up and determined was called sticky geranium. And here's the fall leaves. This is desert paintbrush, one of the different kind of Indian paintbrushes. Most of these things are generically called Indian paintbrush, but this one, the one found in northern Utah, is desert paintbrush, which is apparently crawling with ants. This plant, I don't even remember its name, but some gorgeous little, I don't know, it's like a pseudo orchid almost, though it's clearly growing on kind of a weed stem. But there's some various different kind of plants and different colors from the highlands that around here in southern Michigan, it's the early spring, which is the peak wildflower, but summer is where it's at in the Rockies. And this is the top of I guess I should know the mountain, but a nice pano of what we were looking at.
Um, yeah, the peak, there were different hike names, but the peak wasn't named as far as I know.
There's something called like 11,000-foot peak that's a little bit farther off
Oh,
my
it's the
right elbow.
1040 peak.
1040, yeah, 10340 peak or
Yeah.
something like that. There's Blood's Lake at the very base of it. Right there at the very bottom, you can see over below my left elbow the lake that we had the video at, where they had that little island with the trees
Right
down there,
there.
kind of right there at the base. Um, but at any rate, we have some more exciting videos from Utah where the buffalo roam and the antelope play.
Yep, come join us.
Like, comment, subscribe.